Hello, and welcome to The Three of Us, a companion show for HBO's The Last of Us, a spoiler discussion of the TV show and the games and the comic book that is The Last of Us. I'm your host, Vince, and I'm accompanied by two of my very good friends, one of them being my brother. Who wants to go first introducing themselves?
I'll let the special guest introduce.
Yeah, I'll go first. Michael.
Hello,
Nice
Michael.
to meet you guys.
And who else do we have here?
It is me.
Hey, Kyle.
Hello.
Hi. So, like I said, this is going to be a discussion of episode 6 of The Last of Us. This is a general spoiler discussion, like I've said, so I'm just going to get into it the way I always get into it. How did you fellas feel about this episode?
I'm going to throw you a curveball right now.
Yeah.
10 sheep out of 10 sheep.
Really?
Yeah.
You're already given the rating.
Throw you a curveball. That's why I thought of it.
Okay, what about, not your rating necessarily, Michael, but what did you think of this episode?
I think it was just, overall, just everything was just good. You know what I mean? Nothing was bad. I felt like everything was just perfect. I felt like.
Really? What about this episode stood out to you the most?
I don't know. As I was watching it, I was there's nothing bad. There's nothing, crazy happened. It's just a good episode. You know what I mean?
Kyle, I want to hear more from you, Kyle. Let me hear. What do you like the most? What about it did it for you?
It's all familiar because this is the only part of The Last of Us 1 that I remember.
Really?
Yeah, from the dam onward is all stuff I remember. So it's just I see.
No shit.
And there's so much connection and good stuff in this episode that just
like what? Tell me. What's the that you like
seeing Jackson?
Yeah, it looks just like it does in game.
Yeah. I see why they decided to do winter because that's how we know Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Just send shit up for the future and stuff like that, and just where we're going. You know what I mean? I'm waiting. I can't wait for the David stuff.
Let me see what I have written down. This episode had a few things that kind of took me out of it. Mainly the CGI in this one.
CGI monkeys.
Not even the CGI monkeys. In the beginning, when Ellie's looking at the sky with all the stars, I was like, "This is an HBO show. You couldn't pay a little bit more money for CGI."
Is that CGI?
Yeah, that was not real. If that was real,
sure?
that looked like shit. If that was real, then I'm upset they didn't pay somebody to CGI it. And if it is CGI, I'm upset because it's HBO and they've got Game of Thrones money. And I get that this is the show's first season. They should have threw a little more. But also, the monkeys look like PS2 graphics. And I get it. They're not going to... I understand. From a monetary standpoint, they're going to try to save as much money as they can. And they're not going to... Michael, turn your phone off.
I don't have my phone on.
Kyle, was that you?
That was me. I quickly tried to shut up.
Bastard. I think just to I get they're not going to spend all that money for just CGI monkeys real quick, but even there was little things about the CGI. When Joel pulls the baseball bat out of his side, they sped it up in a weird way. Like a cheesy horror movie would do, so it would trick your eye quickly. There was little special effects things in this one that I was just when The Last of Us first came out, it was very much a game that was touted as looking the best on the console. Then they remastered it for the 4, so it looked better on the next console, to the point where they remastered it a second time to put it on the 5. So it's a better looking game. How did you feel about Joel getting panic attacks?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I like this because he's starting to feel again. He's starting to get the... I have feelings for this girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen again.
What about you, Michael?
I was iffy about it.
Really, why?
Because I feel like Joel's just such a badass person. You know what I mean?
That you don't think he would get panic attacks?
Yeah. I don't think he would get panic. I don't know.
I think a lot of people get panic attacks that you would think are badasses. Like, I once heard a thing about Ozzy Osbourne had sold out like Madison Square Garden. And the band that was opening for him, he went up to him and was like, hey, is anybody out there? Like, he just assumed that he just wouldn't have people there. I don't know. I didn't like it because I was very much like, why didn't this happen earlier? Like, it felt a little too convenient for me.
Right.
Like, it felt like, well, you had how many other episodes? This is the first time he's having a panic attack?
At first, I thought he was getting sick.
I thought he was having a heart attack.
I thought
Or something.
I thought the Native American woman, which I want to talk about the Native Americans for a second. I thought the Native American woman poisoned him.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen, and then it was going to be like Ellie brings him to Jackson, or someone finds him at Jackson, or something like that. I just want to talk about the Native Americans. They did nothing to contribute to the story.
so fine.
What?
I mean, that's survivors. You know what I mean?
I know, but like
you're fine.
They could have not, like, I sat there, like, I rewatched the episode today, and like they could have not interacted with Joel or Ellie whatsoever, and I feel like the exact same episode would have happened.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel like it added anything. Like, I just felt like it existed. I kind of like the idea of these two Native Americans that were just there, and it's like, oh, this is people that are almost in the same boat as Bill and Frank, in the sense that they can just kind of exist.
Yeah,
together.
they left and like, showing that, and even showing Ellie too. Like, they don't know the Fireflies. They have no clue. You know, they're separated from a lot of these things.
But like, I don't know, a lot of this episode felt like there was felt like a lot of unnecessary shit, but then also like a lot of just, here's a bunch of shit that we're going to show you that you're only going to recognize if you're a fan. Like,
I guess I felt it more setting a lot of stuff up. Like with the Native Americans, it was showing Joel's tactics with the map.
Yeah. I mean,
like a peaceful way of it doing it until we get to hopefully see the other ways. But it also showed Ellie that too.
No, I see that. That just felt like it didn't need to be there. Like, I could have just saw Joel do the map. I could have just seen the map scene and not like the peaceful map scene. Like, there's okay, so the one thing I did really enjoy is when they're sitting down eating dinner or breakfast, lunch, whatever the hell it is, when he first gets to Jackson. I did enjoy seeing Dina for like a second.
Yeah.
Like, there was an interview. Craig Manzon is the fella's name that I can never remember. Craig Manzon said in an interview, I don't know if I sent it to you or not, I read it on Instagram. He's like, I'm not saying that's Dina, but I'm not saying it isn't Dina.
That is definitely her, because in Last of Us 2, she does say, hey, I saw you when you first came to Jackson, and you're eating and stealing food.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So I enjoyed seeing her for a second. I got really excited. I was like, oh my God, she's going to have a baby with her. Like, I just, but I like that. But then there was like little scenes like when Maria gives her the Diva Cup. I was just like, why do I need to see this? And I'm not like one of those people that's like, ooh, periods, gross, yuck, ooh, like, I don't care about that. I've just never wondered why in any piece of fiction I never see people go to the bathroom, because it's fiction. Like, I just assumed there was a post-apocalyptic way to deal with that, and now you got me thinking about how many other people use that thing in 20 years. And I get it, like, it's gross, maybe that's the point of it, but like, there's also the scene where they're crossing that bridge that this episode needed to be longer, is I think what I'm getting at.
I don't think so.
I think it was way too short. I think it was way too short. They wasted way too much time on.
See, I'm opposite that, because like, I don't think they wasted shit. Like, a lot of the scenes just made sense in many ways of setting stuff up, because like even the crossing, like, they're going into this place that who knows what's going to be here, and then even Ellie saying like, oh, is this the River of Death, or was that the River of Death? And like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm completely opposite of what you think is filler and not filler.
I don't know. It's just a lot of this episode felt like I feel like the last episode and this episode very much so would have benefited from a little more time. I think the end of the episode where they're at the college. First off, I just want to say I was on a trip on Sunday when this aired, so I watched it a little late. Like I got home and it was like, oh, here's I-25. And I was like, oh, I was just there. Like they showed Denver in the background. I was like, I just drove through Denver today. It was just cool to see like a city that I know in The Last of Us in like a situation like this. In any sort of post-apocalyptic thing, really. But like, you don't think that the college scene felt rushed?
No.
Really?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
But what's rushed though? Because in the game we have combat and all this though.
Yeah, I felt like with the show, they kind of like as soon as they got there, it was over. Like I get that. Like it didn't even seem like Ellie was upset that there was no fireflies. Like she says, she's like, yeah, there's. Joel goes, it's not clickers. She goes, yeah, but it's still no fireflies. Like that was it. It wasn't like, oh man, you know, I thought we came all this way. Like I thought we were done. Like none of that. And then like the build up to Joel getting hurt. I get it. It's a game. Like, and I'm trying to look at it as going like, you know, it's a different medium. A video game is a very different medium from a movie, and it's a very different medium from a TV show, and that's a very different medium from a book. And they're all forms of art that are used to tell stories and whatnot. But it just seemed like a lot of it was very
happening in real time.
No, not even. It felt rushed. It felt like
that's happening in real time, though. You know what I mean? Like they're rushing and have like he's getting attacked right away, and it's not going to be like the game where it's like 20 minutes hiding behind a thing, shooting, hiding behind a thing, shooting.
Yeah, I just feel like when they just get there, and then it's like 4 dudes. I doubt that Joel and Ellie couldn't take on 4 guys.
Probably not.
You don't think they could take on 4 people?
I mean, they all had like melee weapons, and I think they could.
Yeah, like,
but at the same time, he was hurt and snuck up on because Joel's losing it.
Yeah, I get that. It just like I enjoyed watching Joel take the guy out because it looked exactly like it did in game.
Mm-hmm.
And I like little shit like that. But again, this episode felt just like, hey, remember this? Remember Shimmer? Remember what happens to Shimmer in the second game? Remember how Dina and Ellie love Shimmer? Like, I don't know. I felt like this, if anything, felt like a filler episode to me. Like,
no, I have to disagree heavily because this is like shit from the game and like setting stuff up. That's
I
filler
get
is
that.
like having fillers in the next episode.
You think the next
filler
episode is
having
filler?
Backstory from a past that's filler. That's not continuing the story in any way.
I don't know. I wouldn't consider that filler. I'm really looking. Are you looking forward to next episode?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. But like when I think of filler is an episode that is no way continuing the story of it being present.
I see.
So like in anime, they have like the beach episode. Like not even like it's not pushing the story.
Yeah, it's
anywhere.
Like, did you ever see that episode of Dragon Ball Z where Goku goes or Piccolo goes and gets his driver's license?
Yeah,
like nothing happens.
Yeah, like that's why I like this episode is definitely not filler. This was like I was sitting there going, "Oh shit! All right, we're getting to the good stuff now. Like this is it. We're setting stuff up."
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the episode more on my second watch. I'll give it that. There's little things I like that I appreciate that like Tommy.
I have a list of some stuff.
Okay, all right, hold on. I like that Tommy and Maria had like a memorial to Maria's kid and Joel's kid.
Yeah. Like
I like stuff like that fleshes out the world more. I also like that in this one we finally get to see how Ellie finds out about Sarah. But then like I didn't really understand how Ellie heard about Joel wanting to leave her behind.
I'm pretty sure from what I understood was because she was out at the time and she heard them. She was passing by and heard them.
Yeah, and I didn't because they were inside. That's what I didn't get. That's what I thought she was going to go talk to Dina. Like that I thought was going to be her leaving the movie. And
I thought she was leaving. Like I thought it was going to be that scene of her leaving to whatever the house was.
Okay.
And then that's where I thought at first. But then I was like, she can't leave. There's a friggin' huge gated community. I don't know how she would escape. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That was another CGI thing. You could tell that fence wasn't, which again, small nitpick.
Made it look like from the game too.
Oh no, it looked exactly like the game.
How do we think about the sheep farm stuff?
What do you mean?
How she's asking, like, oh, Joe, what do you want to do when this is all over? And he's like, oh, I'll have a farm with sheep. And that's literally what they have in Last of Us 2.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
That's the first thing. That's the first thing I thought about when they said that. I was going to text you that, Vincent, when I was
Really?
watching it. Yeah, I was like, dude, they're talking about the second game. That's where she's going to live.
It's like I said, I got excited when I saw Shimmer. Like, I know I was just shitting on Shimmer, but like I saw Shimmer, my first thought was, oh no, baby, you die in Seattle. Like, that was just like, I like that they're fleshing out small things about it. I don't know. Like, there's a scene. How did you feel about how Ellie finds out about Sarah?
I knew it was coming. Like, that was like a perfect thing of her finding out.
It felt very natural. Like, it didn't feel like she was like, Ellie, I got to sit you down and tell you about this. But like, Maria wasn't a lawyer, but she was like a judge's assistant or something. And she says in there, she's like having this conversation with Ellie, and she's like, you're smart, so pay attention to who you trust and who you put your faith into, which I appreciate. Like, I like that. I appreciate that they're setting things up like that. But there's also like it doesn't. She even says, she's like, oh, so you don't trust Joel, but Joel did all these things to protect Tommy, and Tommy did them too. Like, I never got in the game that Maria and Joel didn't like each other. They also like never met. Like, I never got that there was tension. I got a little more tension in the second one, just because it was more of, we can't go after those people.
From what I remember from the second one of hearing about it, I think it was more like, even like from the show too, it was like, oh, Tommy's a good guy, but Joel's pushing Tommy to do these bad things. That's what even I think she said too. Like, but she was following Joel when she was like, oh, Joel murdered people and Tommy did too. But I think she was like, oh, but he was following Joel's orders or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's also like the other thing is like, I don't know. Like, it just felt like they kind of, my biggest problem with The Last of Us 1 is that people didn't get that Joel's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people went into The Last of Us 2 like, no, they killed off my badass. And it was just like, that's not the point of Joel. The point of Joel is to show you that, like, being closed off is not good. Like, to shut out the world is not good. This does a little bit better of it. I did enjoy the scene where, like, Joel cries to Tommy about how weak and pathetic he is. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a little out of character from the Joel that I'm used to, just because the Joel I'm used to died holding on to those feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, I thought it was neat, and I thought, you know what, if he's going to do it with anybody, he's going to do it with Tommy. And I guess it makes more sense that they don't show during that scene, it pans to Ellie walking outside, so you don't really see the whole of Joel's facial expression. So you don't get to see him really break down. So in that regard, I liked it. It's just, I enjoy being able to see these things get fleshed out a little bit more than we did in the game. Like the sheep farm, going back to your initial point, the sheep farm, I love seeing that, because now to me, I know that at some point Joel then told that to Ellie, and then whether or not that was, because that wasn't Joel's house. And Ellie's house was like a garage that was converted. So that means like Ellie said, okay, I have to go do this in Joel's honor. So her and Dina went and did that. Like, I love shit like that. Like, me as a fan who sees this stuff coming loves to see that. But there's like, I think we have to talk about the scene.
Before we get to the scene,
okay, please.
Did you guys notice the intro?
No. Did you see anything, Michael?
The recap?
No.
Yeah, where they showed Henry cut to black 3 months later.
Yeah.
Exactly how the game did it. Henry killed himself, Joel there, cut to black.
3 months later. Oh, I didn't notice that. No.
We're in the next season. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
See, that bothered me a little bit, because it flashed forward 3 months, and I feel like by this point in the game, Joel and Ellie had already kind of warmed up to each other a little bit. And in the show, they really hadn't. And I was like, oh, good. So they're like, I said out loud, I went, oh, good. They're just going to be friends now. Like, I feel like I didn't watch them become friends. Like, I feel like they became friends quickly. Like, I know I've been saying this entire time doing the show that I'm waiting for that scene. The scene where I feel like I'm going to see Bella Ramsey as Ellie. And I'll let you know, I don't see her as Ellie. I see her as more as Ellie than I did last episode, but I don't like this. The scene felt completely flat for me. It fell right on its face. And I started to well up a bit. And I think it was just because I was thinking of the game.
Right.
Like, it was very much, I didn't understand why Joel would care about her at this point. At this point, as far as I know from the show, she still feels like cargo. Now, there's 3 episodes left, and the last episode is 46 minutes long, which I sent you recently on Instagram, Kyle. 46 minutes. Yeah, there's a page I follow that's just called like HBO's The Last of Us. It's like an unofficial fan page. And it said like 46 minutes. The last episode shall be 46 minutes long. And I really want to see how they're going to fit the giraffe. I can't assume they're going to do the giraffes in episode 8. It has to be episode 9. Like, that feels like a real full circle moment for me, at least. And who knows? Maybe by time episode 8 rolls around and episode 9 rolls around, I'll believe their friendship a little bit more. But like, let's talk about that scene right now. Can we do that, fellas?
Okay. Yeah.
The bedroom scene. I waited for it this entire time because I thought this is where Ellie was going to be Ellie. This was going to be Ellie's moment. And it's exactly like it is from the game without any of the emotion.
Yeah. I feel that way.
Like, she says exactly. I quoted it last episode. I was like, which shirt goes with which skirt? This is really all they had to worry about. Like, I wanted it to be what it, like, and I get it. Like I said earlier, it's a different medium than a video game. And I already have high expectations because of how much I love these games. But I didn't understand how she heard him. And I also didn't really think that Joel cared about her in the way I feel like at this point in the game he does. That's just my 2 cents on it. Like, I'm not saying F this show. I'm done with the show. Like, look what Neil Cuckman did to my, like, I'm not saying that.
I don't have an emotional connection to the show and the game like you used to. So to me, it was just like, oh, this is cool. This is from the game. Really? Yeah. So from what I actually want, did you watch the thing at the end?
Yeah.
The behind the scenes nonsense?
Yeah.
She even talks. She's like, I couldn't even sleep for nights after we did that scene.
Really?
It kept her up. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have that strong of connection, so it wasn't like as impactful to me. It was just like, oh, that's cool. That's from the game.
Okay. No, I mean, it's good episode. Like, it's a good episode. It's not like I don't feel like I went from watching like. I don't feel like I went from watching Breaking Bad at its height, and then the next episode was like the worst episode of Hey Arnold, and then back to Breaking Bad at its height. Like, it just felt like a slower episode to me. I appreciate seeing the world building. Like, I wanted to cry when I heard the kids singing Christmas carols. You know what I mean? Like, I heard that, and I was like, oh, this exists again.
What also made this episode for me was the music.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I know that song. That's that song. And it just felt like, because like we heard some stuff, but like this was like really like, yeah, we're just gonna play the music.
Yeah. No, I knew you were gonna say that because I felt the complete opposite way. Just because I feel like the episode very much was just like, use this music. Like, I remember hearing something about The Simpsons a long time ago. But The Simpsons never, the original like 9 seasons, 8 seasons, whatever, never used mood music. Like, they never wanted you to feel a certain way. I don't know if this is true or not, but I remember hearing a writer or a director or producer on the show saying, he's like, we don't want to tell the audience how to feel. We just want you to feel that way because it's well written. And I felt like this episode, if anything, relied way too heavy on the music. I don't know anything about editing. Well, I do know a thing or two about editing audio. I'm not going to sell myself too short, but like when it comes to mixing audio into a television program, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what I'm doing. I would have loved to have seen that shot without the music. I would have loved to seen that shot as it said, like to say, sit with it, sit with that idea. I also thought when he goes into his room and like cries and has the flashback to his daughter, that was very like tell, don't show. Like, yeah, I get it. You're thinking of your daughter. That being said, when he like for a brief second, when he leaves Tommy in the bar and he's like, he sees that girl with curly hair and he goes, oh my God, is that Sarah? And then the girl runs up and he has like that thought of like, this is what I should have. I appreciate that. Like those are like little moments that you don't get in the game that I think do a phenomenal job here in the show. And I get it. Like I said, when was the last time we saw Infected? I guess last episode. But doesn't it feel like it's been forever? Like
I mean, that's
what I love.
What we said too, is like where they're located. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And there's Infected in Jackson because there's the bloater in Jackson, but there's also that one scene where you shoot at the clickers from a half a mile away. Like, I know they exist. I know that they're there, but who was it? Robert Kirkman, who wrote The Walking Dead. He was like, I wanted to write a soap opera. I didn't want to write zombies. The zombies are just there as an obstacle.
I got some tidbits, some Easter eggs.
Please.
If we would like to talk about those.
Yeah, sure.
So the Tipsy Bison.
Yes.
Let me see. Joe and Ellie sitting by the campfire was a early concept art for the first game that never happened. Ellie learning to whistle.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Also from the game.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, that was in game. I remember that.
Ellie asking to learn how to snipe, which is also like what she did for Tommy. She asked her how to use the sniper.
Yeah. What do you read these off of?
I just took a picture of a couple of things.
Okay.
And then this popped up. I posted in Discord. This popped up, and people were like, "This means a lot more now because they said it." But this was the scene. This is what she said at the end there when Joel was on the ground.
Are you sending something?
Yeah, I put it in the Discord.
Yeah. Doesn't she? Yeah, she says, Joel, you got to get up when he falls over. Doesn't she say something like that?
That's the exact words when Joel's being beaten.
I thought so. Yeah, because I remember being like, you got to get up. You got to get up right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that sounded familiar. I didn't want to say like, oh, that's that for certain.
Yeah.
See, so, okay, so like, I hear what you're saying, Kyle. This feels like a great way to set things up, and I agree with you to an extent. I genuinely think if the episode was 10 to 15 minutes longer, I wouldn't have these complaints. Like, I really genuinely do. Like, I feel like if they had just a little bit more time to do things, because showing, like, you also sent us a meme that compares scenes from the game to scenes from the show. And, like, I want to see a second season that has nothing to do with the next game because I want to know the politics of Jackson. Like,
it's communist.
Yeah, and like
that was pretty funny with Tommy. She's like, "No, we're a communist. We're communism," and Tommy's like, "What?"
But like, why was that off-putting to Joel?
You mean Tommy?
No. When Joel goes, so you're communist, and he's like, not really, and Maria's like, no, we're communists. This is a commune. Don't get it twisted. And like Joel like looks at Tommy, like, was it Joel looking at Tommy because he's like, oh, you're gonna let your wife speak for you, or is it because he was like, you're a commie now? Like that's like there was like little things about this that I just didn't.
I from what I got from that, it was like, oh, you're a community like every other community, and Fedra is not gonna like.
I see more of that like
kind of like, oh, you say you're a community, but like Fedra said that too, and like. So does other people, and they still do the same stuff.
I didn't think of it like that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Michael, is there anything you want to say? You've been rather quiet.
There's not like really anything in this like episode that really like got me. You know what I mean?
Well,
I feel like this episode was more about if you play the game, you understand what this part is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I'm having like, I feel like the show for me started really, really, really incredibly strong. And it's kind of dipped a bit. And I'm not saying like the next episode is going to be, they showed that like, it's
going to be David.
No, yeah, it's going to be.
Sorry. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a mix of Left Behind.
Yeah,
and the whole Ellie going to find shit for Joel.
And it's the comic. Because I haven't read the comic in a while, but I have.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Michael?
I said, yeah, it's definitely gonna be the comic.
Did you read the comic?
I haven't like read it, but I've seen like videos of people talk about it.
Did you read it, Kyle?
I did not.
Next time I come home,
I know what it's about though, but I did not know.
If you want to read it, next time I come home, remind me, and you could read it in 30 minutes. It's 4 books, super quick.
Isn't that about how like they went to the mall? And
no, that's Left Behind.
Right?
The comic's about her mom.
It's
right?
barely about her mom. It's like Marlene mentions Ellie's mom to Ellie towards like the middle or end of it, but it's about how Riley and Ellie meet. So it's like Ellie sneaks out of Fedra school and then she like goes walking around Boston and she meets Riley and she has like a crush on Riley and you could kind of tell. And she's just like, I'm working with the Fireflies. Or if I remember correctly, it's 4 books. Like I might just like take it to work to read it on my lunch break because I could read it in 20 minutes. But like there are certain shots that they show in the teaser that are like directly from the book. Like I was flipping through the book the other day because I had lent it to a friend who I used to work with to read it because they were into The Last of Us and we were talking about the show well before it came out. And I was like, here, take this. And then one night when they came over to watch it with me, they brought it back and I started flipping through. Some shots from the book look exactly like the shots from the show, just from the little teaser that we got. I'm excited to see Ellie's mom. Because I forget if you sent it to me, if I read it somewhere. Neil Druckmann it's Ashley Johnson, yes, but Neil Druckmann had written a DLC that was about Ellie's mom. And they never made it. Like they either didn't get it out, they didn't get the permission to put it out, but he had written it. So this is an idea that's been stewing on for like 10 years. So I'm excited to see just a little bit more about her mom because the only thing that I really know about Ellie's mom is that Marlene says in the comic, I made a promise to your mom to protect you. So we're going to get to see about who Marlene is to Ellie as a whole. But like, I'm excited for the next episode a lot. I'm as excited for the last episode as I was when they said, oh, here comes Sam and Henry. And last time I got my hopes up, I got a little disappointed, but I was also this excited for Bill. And Bill was something completely different that I didn't see coming that I loved. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said with the fan base of The Last of Us. With like, you remember how it was when Last of Us 2 came out, right, Kyle?
Yes.
Like, it was people that were like, oh, well, my understanding of the game was this way, or my understanding of the game was that way. And I get like the whole, I don't like
my hero, Joel.
Like, that's the point though. The point is that you're not supposed to have the hero. That, like, to me, that was the point to me, was you're not supposed to have the hero because anything good can be taken away from you, but you have to love what you have while you have it. Like, and that's what I kind of think. It's what I'm assuming. It's what I'm hoping for the next episode. Is that you're going to get to see, like, this is Ellie's mom and this is Marlene and this is why the Fireflies matter. Like, honestly, I was thinking about it during the episode. I'm a little upset they've really never expounded upon the Fireflies. Like, there's correct me if I'm wrong, but in the first one, don't you get to collect, like, all of the Firefly tags?
Yes, and you get to collect the, like a voice, like a reporter.
Yeah.
And you get to listen to it.
But here's my thing. After watching this episode, there's no doubt in my mind they're changing the ending. I don't know how they're going to change it, but I don't think they're going to end it the same way. I think they're going to make some sort of a change to it. And I really hope I'm wrong. Like, genuinely. Like, I'm not saying this out of spite. Like, I'm not saying this out of malice. I'm not saying this because I got a little upset that the one episode isn't a fucking 9 out of 10. I'm just saying it because I have a feeling the way this is going. And don't get me wrong, Michael, I'm not saying this has to be 1 for 1. The show has not been 1 for 1. It includes things from the game, but it's not a direct copy, which is good because why would I want to watch a direct copy? You know what I mean? Yeah. I could just play the game again, but I just have a feeling, and I want to be wrong, but if I'm not, I called it. Like, I don't know. I mean, is there anything you guys want to say? Michael, anything you want to say? I feel like you've been rather quiet. Nothing at all.
I think that they just try to make it more like real life. like Kyle said.
Yeah. No, and I
they're
can
just-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But go on, sorry.
And I think that, like you said, I don't think the end's going to be the same, too.
What
Some-
do we think it's going to be though? Like, what are you guessing?
I
That they might
think
change.
they're going to actually be able to test her. And I don't know after that. I think some shit's going to go down. That Joel's going to be like, what the hell? Like, they're going to test her. And she's going to, like, something's going to happen, I feel like.
I think something's
you
gonna
know-
happen. What?
You know how, like, he, like, runs in, saves her and everything?
Mhm.
I think this one, she's going to go through all the process. And she's going to be mid in it. And then
And
he's
he's
going to,
gonna
like,
pull her out.
be like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. That's what I think's going to happen.
I don't.
think he later on he's going to hear that if she keeps going, she's going to die. And then he's going to be like, oh, I got to get her out now. And she's like in it already. And he kills everyone.
Did they know that they could make 100% vaccine? They knew the vaccine was going to work.
Marlene knew from whatever scientist or whatever.
From Abby's father.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't be, because I didn't remember if they did or not. I was 90% sure they were like, we're going to make this and it's going to work, but it's going to kill her. Like, I was like 90% sure that was going to happen. I have a feeling they're going to make it where they don't know. They're going to be like, we don't know if we're going to be able to make it. Like, there's not little things. I just have a feeling they're going to change it from the game. And it's, I don't know. Like, again, this is not me being pessimistic. I'm not being negative about this. I'm just trying to follow the pattern. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I feel like the ending of this is going to be hard to guess, like, now.
No, I
think we gotta
know.
watch it a little more.
That's another thing. Like, part of me feels like a fool for trying to guess, and then another part of me feels like that's half the fun of watching TV. You know what I mean? It's half the fun of watching a movie is being like, ooh, how do you think it ends? It's like a little puzzle. Anything else you fellas want to talk about?
I think it's going to end
amazing.
how. I definitely think it's going to. I mean, the scene's going to probably be different with the hospital stuff, but like, I think it's going to end with them heading back to Jackson, and it's going to whatever she asks Joel or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's going to that scene where she's like, it was all worth it, right, Joel? Like that.
That's gonna be in the show for sure.
No, that's absolutely going to be in the show. I think
Yeah.
it's because doesn't Joel kill Marlene?
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
kills Marlene. I want to say that his name is David, but I know it's not. Maybe Steven? It's like a generic
sure.
white dude name. Abby's father, Brian?
I don't remember.
Like I
I
said,
think it is Steven or David.
it's a generic white dude name, and that's going to be that. Like, I don't doubt that it's going to be Joel walking in and putting a gun in.
I
his
wouldn't be
face.
surprised if they add more detail to it, like maybe Joel even meeting him,
Yeah. You
and
know what
then
the-
having him that decision of like he's going to do what he did. You know what I mean?
You know what they're probably going to do to make Abby killing Joel more impactful?
What?
Abby and Ellie are probably going to like look at each other and wave like, oh my God, we could be friends when this is all over. Right. And it's going to be, and they're going to be like, Joel, thanks for getting Ellie all the way here. This is Dr. whatever. And, he's going to be like, nice to meet you, Doc. You're going to take care of Ellie for me? And he's like, we're going to do our best. And then he's going to be in the room. Because remember, there's a scene in The Last of Us 2 where Marlene speaks to Abby's dad and is like, you got to tell Joel. Like, you got to tell Joel that this is going to kill her. And he's
Yeah,
like, why
that's what
should
he
we?
s- Well, no, I think he said that to Marlene.
Oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Somebody
I think he's like, you have to tell him.
somebody says it to somebody. Like, but there's going to be a scene where, like, in the same room, Abby, Ellie, and Joel are talking to each other. Like, or not, maybe not talking to each other, but they're in the same room. And in that scene, I'm gonna look in the background and see there's golf clubs.
I don't remember exactly. She didn't know about. Well, she knew about Ellie, but like she didn't know that much about Ellie until she was just mostly after Joel, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah, I don't feel like that they would set that up with like, oh, we'll be friends, because like that was never her motive in the second game.
No, I'm saying like them as kids.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's
You don't think that they'll
something.
show
Nah.
not like them being like, "Hey, friend." I think it'll be more like they'll wave at each other. Like
Nah,
that.
I think they'll keep Abby out of it.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't think they'll introduce her right away because then it's like, oh, you just met this doctor guy who, you know, and then he's now dead, and it's like, oh shit, he had a daughter.
I say.
I think
Maybe.
with what you said, it will be awesome if that happens.
I think there's gonna be a scene where Joel like shakes that man's hand though, like the doctor. Like I think there's gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if there
Yeah,
was
they're
scenes of them. Like,
yeah, I'd see that too, like meeting them.
yeah. I don't know. It's also only 46 minutes, so who knows?
Because what? So what's next episode is what?
Seven. It's Ellie Riley and her mom, and Ellie's
Which is
mom.
going to probably finish off with her getting captured by David. I have a feeling.
Yeah, it'll probably be Buddy Boy. I can't remember. That's what she goes, Buddy Boy, put your hands up or put your gun down. David and Buddy Boy, and then that's in Bear Creek. That's the map from the online. That's there, and then you know there'll be a bar burning at some point, and I can't wait. What's up?
You think there's gonna be a snowstorm, like the game?
Yeah.
I feel like something probably comes through. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they change it to like a grizzly bear. That'd be kind of cool. Like a bear shows up, but why not do a? I'm just like looking for things to change at this point. Like now, I'm just curious to see how they're going to change things. You know what I mean? Like now, I'm just like, well, if you were willing to do that, what else you willing to do?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, when they do the behind the scenes, it's like, what can we change that actually makes sense and benefit?
Yeah.
Do you think we think 8's going to just be all of David and all that stuff, and then 9 is going to hit the beginning with like the giraffe and them getting there, and like
I wouldn't be surprised if 9 is them just walking into Salt Lake City. Like it's them, because I don't think they have a horse at that point. I think it's them walking. I wouldn't be, because don't forget, Kyle, that last scene when they're going back to Jackson and they're walking through the woods and Joel's happy and Ellie's like depressed, that's a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
That's a key moment.
Yeah, specifically with how they've been setting up with the show too, with her thinking like my blood's secure.
Yeah.
Even like them bringing up Sam, like, hey, I tried to heal him. I tried to save him with my blood. Do you think they can make a cure? And Joe's like, I don't know. Possibly. Like, it's just going to be even more when he's like, oh, yeah, they couldn't cure.
I'm excited to see how the series ends. We're in the back 3, the back 9, the back 3. We're at the end of the series. And then when this is over, they've guaranteed a second season, so we get to see how they want to pan that out. If they're going to go directly into game 2, or if they're going to flesh out Jackson a bit.
Might be a split.
Yeah, maybe the first half.
Split.
Maybe the first half is Ellie, and the second half is Abby. Maybe it's.
Oh shit! What if that's like how it ends? Season 2 is Joel dying, and then in season 3 it's Abby stuff.
Maybe. Who knows? I really don't, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a season that's like not a filler season, but like a season of them doing shit around Jackson and fleshing out what Jackson is. And then that ends, like you just said, with Joel dying. I wouldn't be surprised. It would make a ton of sense, you know? But is that everything we have to say, fellas?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So, Kyle, you already gave your rating, but you want to give it again?
Yeah, 10 out of 10 sheep.
What do you say, Michael?
10 out of 10 communists.
I don't know. It's in the middle because like I feel like this episode wasn't bad, but it wasn't great at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just a good episode.
Yeah, I called Mom today, Michael.
Yeah.
And I was like, how'd you feel about it? She's like, I liked it. And I was like, why? And then we started talking about something else. She got sidetracked with something. So I never got to even hear why she liked it. My friends at work that have never played the game like it. It's like, don't get me wrong. It's not bad television. You know what I mean? Like it's good television.
I think it's like this episode was more, all right, you play the game, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else. I feel like it was just like, for people that really like the game,
Mhm.
they're gonna be like, "Oh wow!" Like all the things they do. is
So
just
out
amazing.
of 10, what would you give it then, bud?
An 8.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one 6.8 asshole target shooting things out of 10. Again, not a bad episode. It's not like it's not bad television. It's not poorly written. The only really writing problems I have is that Maria's disgust with Joel feels a little that felt a little rushed. Like I wish they could have expanded upon that a little bit more. Also, the Miller boys got a type. You know what I'm saying? No? Nobody?
The Miller.
The Miller boys got a type. Joel and Tommy love black women. Nothing wrong with it. Just an observation. There's actually a point in the show where Tommy, because in the game, Joel's supposed to, in my view, Joel's like an old Texan. Like he's an old Texan, which I wouldn't be surprised that he's racist. So like I still have to divorce game Joel from show Joel. And there's a point where Joel's like looking at Tommy for being married. And I was like, do you think it's because she's a black woman? And then I was like, no, his kid's mixed. Why would he care? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was funny that they both had a child with a black woman. And I think, honestly, that might be another thing to reinforce, like, Joel feeling lonely. Because we didn't even talk about how Tommy goes, I'm sorry that life stopped for you, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like-
it didn't stop for him.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's fantastic writing. It is. And it makes Joel be upset with Tommy to the point where Tommy's just like, he like cries to him and he's like, I'm pathetic and old. Like he admits that he's pathetic.
And also
old.
the whole thing of like, I came to save my brother, but he didn't need saving, and
What is my
he never-
purpose?
responded back, and I follow their rules, and like he's like, I'm your brother though.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that plays a lot into what, again, here is how the episode does good. I think it plays a lot into Sam and Henry, that Henry kills himself because he's like, I don't have Sam. Like, yeah, he also kills Sam, but like, he's like, I don't have Sam. I don't have anything to live for. I was living to protect Sam.
Yeah.
And now you see Joel look at it and go, well, Tommy's okay. Why can't I be okay? And then, that's when he starts to believe in Ellie. And again, I just wish there was more banter between them talking. I wish there was a little bit more. Good episode. 6.8. Good episode. You know what I mean? Like it's above a 50. It's above half. This is one of those episodes that I'm like, when the show's over, I want to have a conversation with you guys about a myriad of things. But once the show's over, I'm probably going to wait about a month and go back and watch everything again from start to finish, because me playing the games, I see how things are building upon themselves. Like when they're in that Turkey Hill in Boston and Ellie knows everything about Mortal Kombat. I know that because in the game,
I'm excited for the next episode because in the mall shot they show a GameStop.
do they really? I didn't even notice
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What do you think? What games came out in 2003?
Oh man, what did come out in 2003?
Was the PS2 out by then? You
Yeah.
know there's going to be
No,
nothing.
360 was.
Yeah, 360 was like
360
360
was 06.
Was it?
05, 06. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Let me Google it. Hold on. Let's ask Google. Let's see what she says. What year did the PlayStation 3 and the 360
All right,
come out?
here's some games: Call of Duty, Manhunt,
Yes.
SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom,
Hell, the classics.
Finding Nemo, Sonic Heroes was 2003,
Oh, really?
Tony Hawk's Underground,
Hell yeah.
Jack 2, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando,
Hell yeah.
NBA Street Volume 2, Sims Busting Out.
Nice. It's PlayStation 3 and 360. 360 was November of 05. November of 06 was PS3. Good shit. Yeah, no, it's I can't wait. I didn't even know that. I didn't realize there was a GameStop. That's going to be fun. And when
Yeah.
GameStop goes out of business in 3 years, it's going to be cool to see that.
And we get the Halloween stuff too. They're in the Halloween store in the
Yeah.
trailers.
Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap?
Yeah,
Yeah, what's up?
I really like the movie theater that they're in.
Yeah.
And they really don't show it. They show it more in the second game.
Well, that's the dance hall, right? They're having that in the dance hall.
Yeah.
Also, there's such a.
I want to say something too. I forgot about. Because they set it up in literally the first episode using dogs.
Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't even think about the dogs.
Because they show you that the old lady's dog knew something was wrong with her.
Yeah, the dogs. They do set it up in the first, and I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that they can sniff it out. And I did like that the dog could say, like, oh, the girl's infected, the girl's not infected. And there's the human moment of Ellie playing with the dog, and I really like that. Like, I really like when humanity... I mean, Kyle, what's your favorite part from Last of Us 2? Michael, what's your favorite part from Last of Us 2?
I have to think.
You want to be honest with you?
Yeah.
The whole game. There's not... I don't know. Or the spaceship part. That was...
Yes!
That's the best.
The whole museum. That's the point I'm getting at, is the best part of this series is when you get to see humanity. Like, you get to see Joel cry, you get to see Joel be human for 2 minutes, and it feels good. Because that's... Oh,
and they were talking about space, too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Sally fucking Ride.
I watched the podcast, too. He was like, I wanted Ellie to feel more human, so Ashley Johnson really loved astronauts in space, so we just made that into Ellie.
Really?
Yep.
Last year I went to the Southern Colorado Comic-Con, and they had a bunch of people there. They had John Halo, Kyle. I sent you that picture. And like, I'm really hoping one time they get Ashley Johnson, because I want her, I'll pay the money, I'll get the picture. Like, I just want her to sign my Ellie Pop. Like, that's one that I'll buy the case for. Like, that's getting the case, and it's like I'll be buried with it. Like, as dumb as it sounds, like, Ellie's my favorite character.
I would say, though, like, usually they come to New York Comic Con.
I know. She's a big name. She's not going to go to some...
Well, they usually come with Critter Royal, so that's why.
Ah, I see. Does that mean I need an excuse to go to New York?
Do I have? Hold on. Gotta check.
What? You sent me a clicker. I don't know if you can hear me. Hey, buddy.
I can hear you.
Oh.
I'm just seeing if she was there for the poster signing. No, she wasn't. I have most of them signed my poster. I don't think she was there for that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that she's ever going to show up to this one, but I'm keeping an eye out that if she does show up anywhere near me, like, I really want to get it signed. Like, I also just like going to cons.
Yeah.
But like, I'd really love to get my Ellie Funko signed. Like, it's just, you know, she's one of my favorite characters from any piece of fiction ever. I don't know. Anybody have any last remarks? Any last words? Well, I despite how I might have sound, I don't hate the show. I'm still looking forward to the next episode. I just thought this was a slower one. And like I said, I liked it more the second watch. I'm very excited to see next episode. Thank you for doing this with me, my friends, my brother, my friend. Links in the description, everything. I don't remember how to outro this song. I haven't, like, this past 3 days, I've slept maybe like 12 hours. I love you. I will see you next week. Be safe, be happy, be merry. Links in the description to everything. Thank you to the Patreon. I love you. Bye. Say bye, guys.
Oh, but it was so long.
See you next week. Hey, hi, it's Vince. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched. If you'd like to support in any sort of way, in the description below there's links to my Twitter, the show's Twitter, and the Patreon. You could support at any level, and you could be on screen like some of the names are currently. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, check out another one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. I love you. Bye. A Ghoulman Entertainment Production.